Hi, my name is Colleen Samansky, and I'm part of the talent acquisition team at Grainger. In today's session, we're going to take just a few minutes to talk about tips for conducting a successful job interview. First off, prior to the interview, you want to make sure that you have a very good understanding of the position. Connect with your recruiter to get an idea of the day in the life of the role, as well as what skills and competencies are required. You'll also want to know a little bit about the interview team. Find out from your recruiter who will be on the interview panel, their titles, and the role that they play within the organization. You'll also want to make sure you have some thoughtful questions prepared in advance that show that you're committed to making the most of the position. And also think about attire. Attire can vary widely within one organization from one team to the next, so find out from your recruiter what attire would be recommended. At Grainger, we follow what's called a behavioral-based interview format used by many companies. In this format, you're asked to share examples of specific situations from your professional experience. You might hear a question like, can you tell us about a time when you were particularly successful at overcoming an obstacle or a challenge in your career? Always make sure that you're sharing a specific example, a specific story from your background, and staying away from general statements. Also keep in mind that the interviewers will be looking for 3 basic elements to that story or that example that you share. This is often referred to as the STAR format. STAR is just an acronym that describes the 3 elements of the story. The S or the T is the situation or the task. That's just the context of the story and what was happening. A is the action. What steps did you take in that situation? And then R is the result. What was the result or the impact of the things that you did? So make sure that you're weaving in those 3 elements, but also keep in mind that it should be very conversational in nature. The best way to prepare for this type of an interview is to do a lot of reflection on things that you have done. Think back on those experiences, especially those that really demonstrate your abilities within the competencies that are required for the position. And by all means, make sure you practice. Practice talking through those experiences so that they're very top of mind and natural for you to speak to in the midst of the interview. At the start of the interview, you will likely be asked to give a short overview of your background or your resume. Be prepared to keep this to 5 to maybe 7 minutes at the very most, and really just touch on those highlights that you think are most important to share. During the interview itself, listen carefully to the questions, take a moment to respond, and certainly ask for clarification if you need to understand the question fully. Think about your posture. Make sure that you also make eye contact with each and every person in the room. It's natural to be nervous in an interview. So if you need to take a moment, catch your breath, maybe get a sip of water to get back to a natural pace, it's totally fine to do that. It's important to be succinct because interviews are only for a certain length of time, but you want to share enough elaboration that the interviewers can get a sense of how you would fit into the role and into their organization as well. And by all means, let your personality and your energy and your passion for the position really show through. At the end of the interview, confirm what the next steps will be, and also reconfirm your interest in the opportunity based upon what you talked about and what you learned in that interview. A few additional things to think about. If you're meeting in person, bring extra copies of your resume. You might also want to think about bringing some supporting documentation of some kind. It could be references, it could be maybe documentation of recognition or results, or maybe even a short work sample of some type that you think might be important to share. All of those things are important because they really show your initiative and help differentiate you for the position. A lot of interviews these days are being done virtually, so there's a few extra things to think about. Make sure that you are in a room that's professional, that's quiet, and not close to maybe some other distractions or noises nearby. Also make sure that you are testing your video and audio equipment in advance so that you know that things are in working order. I would also recommend doing kind of a practice run with a friend to make sure that your lighting is good in the room, looks the way that you want it to, and that you've got the right kind of height and angle for your camera as well. You can use looking at the camera, by the way, during the interview to make sure that you are making eye contact with the interviewers. After the interview, make sure that you send a thank you email to each and every one of the interviewers. Thank them for their time. Let them know of your interest and why you are the best candidate for the role. You may also want to mention something that really resonated for you during the interview as well. Also follow up with your recruiter. Let them know your thoughts on the interview, confirm those next steps, and let them know again of your interest in the opportunity. We hope that these tips will help you moving forward as you prepare for future job interviews. We also want to encourage you to stay connected with us by joining our talent network. You can simply visit the bit.ly link on the screen or scan the QR code using your smartphone or your tablet. By joining Grainger's Talent Network, you'll be notified of future job opportunities and you'll receive information about life at Grainger. To see all of our current openings, visit jobs.grainger.com today. At Grainger, our purpose is that we keep the world working. Follow us on social media at Grainger and Grainger Careers to see how we live our purpose each and every day. Thanks for your time.